Hey guys, it's Em, and today we're going to be talking about some manga, some new manga actually. Now, if you remember when I was reading SNK initially, I walked over the chapters as I was going through them and how I felt at the moment about them, and I want to do that with Regenesis because Regenesis is just, it always hits. Let's just jump into it, right? So if you remember where we left off last, we left off with Feihi about to fight Yasuka and Kazumi. Now, funnily enough, that is probably the shortest bit in these new chapters. I'm pretty sure literally all of us thought that the next group of chapters, like maybe the next 10 or 20 honestly, were going to be about them fighting Feihi. That is not what happens. And that's not even a bad thing, shockingly enough. I was like, the second I saw them move away from fighting her to fighting like this big Baron dude, I was like, ugh, here we go. Normal SNK striking back. We're wasting the good character for some guy that we don't care about. And after he's introduced, her and Yasuka end up fighting him, and Kazumi goes off to find Erika, who's with Simeon, by the way. And man, to focus on Yasuka and Feihi, they already kind of have a little charming dynamic. I think it was a little fast, I'm gonna be honest with you. But they're having small talk and banter, which is something that didn't really happen in SNK. The only moment of small talk I can think of is between Kazumi Zong and Fei Yun before he dies. And now we're only like, what, 26 chapters in, and they're already having little comical bits between each other. I will say that Yasuka fans are they're eating amazingly, because they are the panels, as always, look clean and crisp, but Yasuka keeps getting these banger-ass moments for like, I swear, the dude who's drawing this has to be a Yasuka fan. Because he ends up losing his arm, because before him and Feihi fight, the dude like throws a pillar and it goes through him. That joint just comes off. You would think, oh, he's probably going to be out of the fight. That's really what I thought was going to happen. I thought this dude was going to show up and Feihi was just going to immediately flex on this guy and he dies. But they have to team up to stop him, and Yasuka isn't even really that slowed down by his arm being missing. And it's really cool. Again, I do think it's odd how quick we moved off of Feihi, at least for now, because I thought, okay, well, since she isn't going to be the main villain of this set of chapters, clearly she's going to one-shot this guy and we're going to see how powerful she is. But no, they make the throwaway goon, or who I thought was going to just be a throwaway goon, pretty good. I thought he was just going to be a guy that served Simeon, and then that was going to be it. But he ends up being pretty strong. He's strong enough where both of them need to team up to stop him. That fight looks really good. But then they make him seem like he's either a father figure to Simeon or he's someone that was affected by Simeon being around. And I didn't really process this in my raw reaction, which you might see on Patreon and eventually on here. But initially I thought, oh, he was like a father figure to Simeon, which is going to fuel Simeon to get revenge against the main group, because all Simeon really wanted was Erika. He didn't have a real reason to hate these guys. So I thought, oh, well, now that they've killed this goon dude, that's going to be his motivation to defeat our main characters. But the other thing that may be possible is that he is going to be like the compassionate star of the mother, where people just like him and that he affects their lives by being around them. I don't know if that's going to be the case yet. That's just kind of my theory. I think it would be strange if they established his father figure was just this guy, because he just kind of appears. So I just get the vibe that that's the direction we're going in, that he's going to be like the compassionate father or whatever. So he just affects people's lives that come near him, and people have the urge to follow him. Now, off of that, we get Kazumi confronting, I don't even really want to say it this fast. It's so crazy. So, right, Erika's still kidnapped, and she's with the Tento guys, and Mandy tries to kill her, and you're thinking, oh, well, why would Mandy try to kill her? It's revealed to us that Mandy is actually Erika's birth mom. This was a twist I don't think anyone was expecting. No one was expecting this. Now, this is a pretty cool scene. The only problem is Mandy's wearing like this dominatrix outfit for literally no reason. I understand we're meant to think that she's evil for a good chunk, but why is she wearing that? She has no reason to wear that. And I swear the artist was just like, man, if I come back, I gotta come back drawing with one hand, you feel me? Because it doesn't... They zoom in on her, like her boobs multiple times. There's just like a few times where her butt is just showing, and the dude's like, I'm drawing every detail of this. Best believe. But anyway, yeah. We find out that Mandy, who's Erika's mom, as I just said, gave Erika away so she could live a normal life with the parents that we see Fei Yun kill in base SNK. That was a really good twist. No one was expecting that. And Mandy was gonna kill Erika before Simeon got to her and used her for whatever he's planning. That doesn't work. because two little Tento kids, this scene was crazy. So there's two little Tento kids that we think are children, right? So Mandy paralyzes this guy, and the two kids basically stop her. And they remove their masks, and we get to see Yuta Shin and Furry Shuren. I don't think anyone was expecting that either. That was very interesting. That was a direction they went in, for sure. And while they're talking the shit, Simeon rolls up. I didn't expect the Simeon reveal this early. This means that we're already seeing the main villain. Do you know how long that took in SNK? Do you, like, genuinely, do you understand how long it took for Zong to be like an actual threat and have a threatening presence? Simeon, I thought, was just going to be a guy in the background. But the fact that they chose to establish him this early, let alone not even just with like his mask on or in the background watching the goons do stuff, he like arrives, doesn't even have his fit on, and he's just talking to Erica. He feels threatening. He has an aura to him already, which is awesome. Better than every base SNK villain so far. So he shows up. They end up talking. Mandy's like, I'll never let you have my daughter. Mandy dies, seemingly. It's very possible she comes back. Seeing that she has Tento and, you know, Erica also has Tento, it's very possible they might like throw her off a cliff or something and she recovers herself. The way they drew it, it very much looks like she died, but I think that would be a big waste, so I'm holding out that they didn't do that. Erica tweaks out and releases this like Tento power that she has. It's very clear they're making her like a Kid Gohan type, where she has this untapped potential that she can't really control yet. I do really like that all of these characters are using Tento, so we can see the destructive potential it has along with the healing potential, because we've got to see Culk use it, the Beastmen that we saw earlier used it, Simeon's using it, so we get to see all these possible aspects of it. It does kind of seem like the everything martial art, which is a little silly because I can't think of a single one in the old story that was like that, but I don't mind it. I'm not gonna lie to you. So while all this is happening and Eric is freaking out, Kazumi shows up. I didn't expect him to get there that fast. I'm not gonna fake. It had been a while since I read the last chapter, so I didn't expect him to just appear here. So Kazumi shows up and he's like, oh, you made Erica cry? He immediately boxes up Furry Shuren and Yuta Shin. I wasn't expecting them to die so fast, honestly. I thought they were going to be the two goons for the next like 20 chapters. SNK really rotted me away for good writing, because a lot of times I thought we were just going to stall on certain points, and we don't. Like, we're just hitting beat for beat. We're getting into the interesting stuff, like, really fast. So Kazumi, he kills both of them in a really awesome panel. One of them's holding his lighter. He kills them both. The lighter falls into his hands and he pops some smokes, and then he goes like, Simeon, what's up, bitch? I'm like, oh my god. It was a beautiful set of panels. You have to read it. It was a beautiful set of panels. Oh, 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 oh. So, and I'm sure you heard me right. He's in front of Simeon. We are getting a Simeon confrontation in the first 30 chapters. We are seeing the main character up against the main villain in the first 30 chapters. This is an amazing start. This is like how Rao was presented, right? Probably even better, to be honest, because like I said, Rao was an established presence in HNK 1 for sure, but it felt like the writers didn't really know what they were doing with him yet, because it's like, oh, I won't even get off my horse, gets off horse. He seemed like a little bit of a cheating bugger kind of guy, honestly. It wasn't until later that I would say he really came into his own, right? But Simeon sees Kazumi and he's like, okay, let's handle this. I thought that the moment that this happened, that we see Kazumi and Simeon right in front of each other, I thought we were gonna cut away back to the goon fight with the dad guy, the goon that Yasuka and Fei are fighting, and we just wouldn't come back to this for a while. Or we would cut away and Kazumi lost, or something. But again, I underestimated Regenesis and I forgot it was a good book. So, like, they start preparing to rumble for a little bit, and then in the middle of the fight, Simeon goes, oh, this is my beautiful courtyard, we don't have to fight here. And Kazumi's like, what? And I shit you not, Simeon grabs this man by the lower jaw, like little boys him, and then throws him into a room. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. So we're kind of establishing that Simeon is either as strong as Kazumi normally, or like, yeah, a little bit stronger. The vibe it's giving is a little bit stronger. So I thought, again, after they threw him in this that little room or whatever they're both in, oh, surely it's going to end here. There's no way we can really see Simeon fight, and you won't believe what these fuckers do, bro. These fuckers make it so. Like, Faye, oh god, I'm not calling Faye in. Simeon, he goes, Perhaps I'll give you a taste of my power. And he pulls out the stand thing that Zong does. Not the exact same one, but something very similar. It's like a goddish stand figure behind him. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's really serious. Like, we're really about to see what these characters can do with like full force. It's probably just going to be a taste of his power since we're this early on. But man, oh man. And in response, Cosme pulls out the Hukto goddess behind him. You know, the Hukto goddess from the end of SNK, the really strong one, the one that like completely obliterated Zong's abilities. I don't think we're going to get Soryu, or if we do get Soryu, it's going to be nullified, but man, it's crazy. Yeah, and then the chapter ends there. It ends with both of them pulling out their stands. It is so refreshing to see an HNK property that is really good, because I'm not sure if I've said this before. I'm not really a super huge manga guy, not in the fact that I won't read it at all. I don't tend to read the newer ones. I don't hate them or anything. I just don't get the hype a lot of the times. I'm like, oh, and then the main character is generic guy number 5 and he's defeating generic villain number 7. That's how I feel about a lot of manga. So it's hard to get me excited. But like, everything is playing into each other. Yasuka's being a good character. Feihi, I already like her, and she's only been around for like a little bit, and she's already kind of a good guy. She might be like an anti-hero, we'll see. Erika just keeps getting more and more interesting. Tento keeps getting more and more interesting. Everything is bouncing off of each other in like the perfect way, and I'm so happy that we have a good HNK related thing in recent years. One thing I accidentally skimmed over is the Cosme, why do I keep forgetting his name? Simeon? The Cosme Simeon fight. We do get to see Cosme do a 100 fist rush, and then he just reverses it. I really cannot wait to see what Simeon is going to be like at full strength, and I can't wait to see what Cosme does to counter him. I imagine, this is just me theorizing now, because that's really all we have. It's very good. It's very good. I'm very sad we had to wait so long for this book to come back, because it's like the best HNK related thing in recent years. And as I said before, I think it does have a lot of potential to be better than HNK 1 for sure. But man, I can't wait to see what Simeon fully unleashes, and I can't wait to see what Cosme does to counter him. If I have to imagine, I don't think they are going to make Cosme that much weaker than Simeon. I imagine Simeon is going to just understand how to counter Hukto. Like, I imagine, because it would be crazy if they don't acknowledge that Cosme has Soryu. Like, if he doesn't try to use Soryu in the next upcoming chapters, I would be kind of surprised, right? Because if Simeon immediately little boys this man and then reverses an 100 fist rush, it doesn't really make much sense for Cosme to not at least attempt Soryu. And I imagine that Tento is going to have some kind of counter to Soryu, and he can't use it against him. I imagine that these two are going to have very technical fights. I don't think it's going to be, I'm stronger, I'm gonna beat you. I imagine when they do defeat Simeon, it is going to be a group effort or a technical win where they just outplay him. Because the way they're setting this guy up, he just seems like he has everything prepared. And with how much we've seen Tento do, and he's like the father of Tento or whatever, you know, I feel like it's gonna be needed. It's so good. It's so good, man. It's such a good story. It's funny, because before, my problem with recommending Regenesis is that you had to read SNK to understand a lot of the plot points, right? Like, the Mandy plot point really wouldn't make any sense unless you read SNK. You would go like, oh, who are these two? Her parents? When did she have parents? They weren't referenced here. Feihi kind of doesn't make any sense at all unless you read SNK. None of the impact would be there. But like, the thing is, this story is so good, you might have to just suffer through it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. It just feels like, what do they say, the grass is greener over here? It's like everything that I said was awful in base SNK, they are just hitting out of the park with Regenesis. Yasuka, again, I probably said this in my Regenesis review, Yasuka sucked. Yasuka was genuinely one of the worst characters in base SNK. And that's saying a lot, because I don't think many of them were good in the first place. But here, he's got like funny witty banter with both Cosme and Feihi, and they're giving him cool panels, and he's not being insufferable. He's genuinely a chill guy. Like I probably said last time, I'm very interested to see what they do with his character. I imagine he's going to die, which is unfortunate, Because if they killed him in the original story, I wouldn't have been complaining. But killing him now, that would make me a little depressed. But I just can't wait to see what they do with him. I imagine he's going to have some kind of death to atone. It just kind of seems to fit his character so far, because he kind of fucked up Erica by taking Fei-Yun away, and then he kind of fucked up Fei-He with the same thing. I don't see any way my boy gets out of this. I can't wait to see what or how they write him going forwards. Kazumi, I don't want to say it's because we have more serious scenarios here, but Kazumi is kind of shifting into Ken, but not in a bad way, right? Like the cool ass cigarette scene where he kills the guy, grabs his lighter and pops a smoke. That is not something Ken would do, because smoking is not a Ken character trait, obviously. I feel like they might begin melding Kazumi and Kenshiro together with this character, if that makes sense. I know I'm saying that they're mixing Kazumi and Ken, and Kazumi was already a character, and he is the character I'm talking about. But it does feel like that. It feels like they're going to take Kazumi's little quirks and just kind of meld him more with the Ken side of things, where he's serious, but he's got a sense of humor, but it's like his own Kazumi sense of humor, if that makes sense. I don't know how to word it right, but I hope one of you understands what I'm trying to say. Man, this is just I wish I had a face cam on right now. I did like the it's just peak, like I did the head shake. It's so good. I haven't felt like this reading HNK or watching HNK side material in a long ass time. I just can't wait to see what they do, man. Everyone has me interested. I can't think of a single bad character right now, which is a lot, which is saying a lot. And the fact that we got here this fast, where I'm already interested this early, oh, that's crazy. That is just so crazy to me. I hope that this manga gets to live its entire life cycle out, I think it's a little crazy that they went on hiatus for 2 years. I don't know how popular Regenesis is, where if it has the ability to just do that. I understand HNK makes a lot of money, however, I don't know that many people who are interested in Regenesis, at least over here. I need this to get the whole meal. I need the entire series. I need I don't want to say minimum 100 chapters. I want the length that HNK 1 was for this. It's just too good to just end or get canceled. It's too good. It's too good for that. Anyways, I've been blabbering way longer than I thought I would. It's just such an amazing story. I had to. I would recommend any of you read this. If you suffer through base SNK, I'd recommend you read it. Even if you don't want to suffer through SNK and you just want to read a good story, I'd recommend you read this. Again, some things might not make as much sense or have as much impact to you, but if you're an HNK fan or just a manga fan, or you just like good writing, you should probably read this. Anyway, that's just been my thoughts. What are yours? As long as you're respectful, I'm glad to discuss with you in the comments. And I've been M, and I am out.